What's up, Werner? How you doing, buddy? How you doing this Friday? Yeah, I'm running a little bit late. I changed some monitor settings, farted around with the camera a little bit so that the flashbang didn't show the old green screen back here, and borked my OBS. I had to mess around with that for a while. Hey, you save? Good to see you. Party time. What's up, Monster of Doom? Harles 2000. Good to see you guys. That works. Ah. There we go. Is anyone doing the side story battles from the gardening having issues? I've gotten to the first plant to level 10, but when I AoE, it's not reducing the plant mechanics any. I haven't done them yet. I was waiting till I just maxed out all my plants, and I was just going to auto the whole thing. It looks like it was pretty easy if you've got your plants levels maxed out. But we can take a look at it if you're struggling. That fight is BS. You need the level 13 plant. Oh, there you go. So just, get your plants leveled up. Hey, Dan Seltzer. How you doing, buddy? Let's check our garden. I haven't peeked at that today. Get all this, get our chibi gold done. Let's level up our plants. Plants. Facility. There we go. I'm a little behind on my garden. Yeah, I'm only garden level 8, guys. I haven't played E7 for a little while now. Is there anything new? How long is a little while, Panda? That's the big question, is how long is a little while? There's a whole bunch of nothing that's been going on the past couple of months. But I am assured that big things are coming. They couldn't go into detail as to what, but after the meeting, they said just try to get everybody to hang in there a little bit longer. Some really big, exciting stuff is coming. They kind of heard what we had to say about units and about, you know, really wanting some bodacious waifus, and that we're going to be really happy with a lot of character models that are coming out, a lot of PvE that's coming out, that big changes are coming and things are going to happen soon. But, of course, they wouldn't go into details. Yep, they're selling a Summer Ida. I'm not a huge fan of the Summer Ida. to be honest. I mean, I'm not a big figure collector myself, but I don't know. There's just something about the Summer Ida one. I love Summer Ida, but I don't know. Just the look of it's not... Did I tell them about RTA? Yeah, and unfortunately, the people that I talk to are completely on my side, or on all the content creators' side about RTA. They really think that, look, 50% win rate is pretty good. Anything that's even 2% above 50% win rate is broken. Like, game-breakingly not okay broken. Completely unbalancing broken. And the fact that we have some units that are out there with 53, 54, 55% win rate is a big sign of a problem. And that we have units that are banned 70% of the time, 40 to 50% pre-ban rates is pretty balanced. Yeah, 70% is absurd, Monster. That shows that nobody likes fighting against this unit, and it makes things stale if these are the units that are always banned, and these are the units that are always picked based on the highest win rate. And the guy I talked to completely agreed and said things need to change. He also agrees that third pick ban protection is something that is useful at lower elos, but is stagnant and stale at very, very high elos, and that in a perfect world, we would only have third ban protection for champs and above, or emperor and above. I'm sorry, strike that and reverse it, that we would have third pick ban protection gone from champs and above, or emperor and above. But that's not the direction Smilegate's wanting to go right now. They're wanting to try it for one more season, so that's not going to change. Do we get any good news? They're actively working on some amazing content. The guys were super... You could tell, he was like, I so want to tell you about this, but I can't. I've got NDAs. I've signed legal documents saying I can't give you details, but you're going to love it. And just try to get people to hang in there. Crazy good stuff is coming. We're very excited about it. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like 8 to 9 kind of excited about it. We can't wait to show it to you. And just hang out there because it's coming soon. And that's all I can say. So, yeah. We talked about the frustrations with RTA. We talked about the difficulties with... the level and insanity of the units, and they're aware. There's just not a lot we can do about it right now. I can tell you this, they said the best way to get your voice heard by Korea is through Stove. As crazy as that sounds, that seems to be the place they look to first. I mean, for example, Pirate Flan's buffs are too good, cancel them. Where was that posted? It sure as hell wasn't from Discords and YouTube videos and stuff. That was Stove. And they listened to that, right? So, if you want to say your piece about something, create threads on Stove, comment on Stove, write stuff on Stove. That seems to be not the only place they look, but it is a primary source where they're looking for people who are brigading issues, for people who are airing grievances, for people who are wanting to get things added. That seems to be a really big thing. So that's one thing they did impress upon me, was to try to get the community to use Stove a little bit more vigorously to try to get attention to that. Arena, yeah, I told them if they don't solve Arena next season, they may as well just turn it into a single push button daily quest thing, because nobody's going to do it anymore. It's already kind of dead, and they agreed, but they're in the middle of a season. They can't change it midstream when people have invested time and money on it. So hopefully we'll see big changes to that next season. Don't know. That's been a constant complaint. Any spoilers, of course, of new possible collabs? No, unfortunately nothing. I mean, they're always working on collabs. They are always aggressively chasing and finding them, but as to whether or not anything is on the horizon, I can't say. Arena season ends soon. It should say in game. Let's see. Arena here. It ends on the 19th. Yeah, so 9 days. We did say that. They said one of their comments was people should know by now that end of fourth quarter, beginning of first quarter is kind of a dead time for us. It's where they're taking the... right around third quarter is when they do their big meetings and they decide what things they're going to want to work on, what they want to try to shoehorn into the existing content, what the community wants, and they start developing the stuff. So there's kind of a dead period because it takes weeks to months to develop the things and engage it. And that's why there's kind of this dead spot in fourth quarter, and then everything ramps up late first, early second quarters, because all the things that they worked on through that dead period start manifesting. Thus, the exciting things are coming. And they said, they figured people would know that. I really tried to impress upon that things are different than in the past. A large quantity of the veterans of Epic 7 have quit, have walked away, have gone other directions, and we got a huge burst of new players, brand new players. A large percentage of the players right now are new, and they came in from the Dash event, from the excitement and the hype of the anniversary, right? We had a shit ton of new people from that. And think from their point of view, right? Holy crap, this game, it's bam, 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 content, things to do, so much stuff, so many things, so many pulls. Every day is exciting. And it was like that August, September, and even a little bit of October, and then bam, it crashes on its face, and now there's nothing. And everybody's like kind of doom and gloom, and where's the content? And if you're one of those new players, you're thinking, what the hell happened to this game that was insane for a few months and now nothing's happening? They don't have the past history to go, oh yeah, it's always kind of dead this time of year because they're working on the following year's content. They don't have that history. They just think that the developers have gave up and walked away, right? So we really try to impress upon Smogate that communication is key, and that using things like Marrow and Mail to get information out there is important. And this is something that's also different from last year. Is last year we had Merowyn come out and give us a roadmap, give us a, the closest thing we've gotten to a roadmap is a little screenshot or a little video short of the silhouettes of six new units, right? With Darkadin and Wretched Rose and that kind of stuff, with no real context or anything. That we really need our little chibi girl to pop out and tell us what's coming up. So the Merowyn Mail should be accompanied by a live sort of stream with spokesperson at this point. You see, we talked about that, Conquer, and here's the thing, right? They used to do that. Remember when Mashu and Nu first came out? Were you around for that? When they first started doing live streams, they were trying to address the issues and drama of the community, and so Mashu and Nu kind of took point. And initially it was Mashu and Desperado, and the Nu came later, and everybody piled onto them. Who are these goofy guys? Who's this is like this big guy that mumbles, and who's this skinny asshole? And what the hell? They were kind of mean to them, and it took us a while to warm up. Everybody started loving Mashu, everybody started hating on Nu, but it took us a while to kind of warm up to that. And then Yuna Kim came out, and Yuna Kim did this big interview, and people were shitty to Yuna Kim, calling her plastic, calling her boring, and making promises and not keeping to them. And even though now people look back at that and everybody loves Yuna Kim, and a lot of people really miss Yuna Kim in the role she was originally in, people were really shitty about it. So they kind of went away from that and started doing written stuff, right? Like written posts. Here's the roadmap. Here's things that have happened. Here's things we're going to do. And then people started holding them to them like it was a written contract. Where's our 3v3 arena you guys promised? Another broken promise. Where is our expedition ship that you said was coming? Why hasn't that happened? You promised you were going to move 15% from PvE. Why didn't that happen? And it was never really phrased that way. It was phrased that these are goals, these are things we're considering, these things we're working towards. But people started taking them to task and saying, shitty lying company breaking promises left and right. So now they've kind of settled, and some of these people, man, Mashu and Nu, you would not believe the shit that these guys got for being on camera, for being the face of Epic 7. These guys got legitimate death threats. Nu told me a story about how he went to an arcade in California, and some guy walked up to him and said, "Hey, you're Nu from Epic 7. And he dropped all of his groceries and sprinted all the way home, never looked back, slammed his door, locked all of his doors, went into his bedroom, turned out the lights, and hid. Because he legitimately thought he was going to get killed because he had been getting death threats. And a guy walked up to him and said, "Hey, you're Nu." He thought, "This is it. I'm going to die." This is the kind of shit they get, and he's not the only one. Just about every single person in the community that's put their face on a camera has gotten insane threats. The community is epically shitty to them, and that's why you don't see them doing live streams nearly as much. That's why you don't see them doing these camera stuff. And yeah, that's a real thing. That shit happens. So I can't blame them for wanting to do things like with Marrow and Mail and having Chibis announce the stuff, because nobody's going to death threat a Chibi, right? But anyway, it's something when people say they should put faces to their names, they should have that personal touch a little bit more often. That's the kind of the flip side of it that a lot of people don't understand. So yeah, they do understand they need to be more communicative with us. They need to let us know let us know like roadmaps and things that are coming up. Get us hyped about things. It's great to be surprised. And don't get me wrong, if I came out and said, hey guys, there's an Overlord collab next week, then they pop up with a banner that, hey, there's an Overlord collab, it kind of takes the wind out of the sail of the excitement and hype of the announcement. If some rando in a hat on a stream says this thing is coming, you don't get to be a part of that big exciting moment, right? So there are multiple reasons why that kind of stuff's kept under the hood and kept under wraps, but they do still need to release information, release tidbits, keep the hype going, keep excitement going, to give people reasons to stick around and see what's next, right? Sneak previews for, sneak peek at next week episode without spoiling next week episode is something series have been doing since the beginning of television, and that's okay. They need to do that. Epic 7 community is traumatized by the end after end of OP units and overhyping units, so I guess it's kind of a sore spot. I completely agree, and I think the metrics from this season really showed it, and it's good that they did excuse me, it's good that they did somewhat acknowledge it in the post that concerns about really, really high numbers on specific units are generating concern. I hate that they say may have generated concern. It generated concern. It's a major fucking concern. So that's it's good that they at least acknowledge that, and they're looking at ways to address that. Yeah, I wish I had more to say on that. It's the reason I'm not engaging with RTA this season until they fix it. If you look at games like Blue Archive, they do roadmaps. I mean, so does Epic 7, just not this year, and that was kind of distressing. Poor New, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. New, Mashu, Gimmick, Aruso, there's not a single person in some of the most lovable people you can think of. I've seen some of these threats, I've seen them in writing, and they're not passive, they're detailed. Here's the guy's Facebook page, here's a picture of him, here's his address, here's where his family lives, here's a description of what I'm going to do to him in front of his family, here's how I'm going to cut off his fingers and feed it to him. I mean, it was like, I told him, contact the feds. It's a verifiable written death threat with doxing and description. I mean, that's a federal offense. Report this shit. But it's easy to say that when you're armchair generaling it. When you're the person whose entire family is being threatened over a fucking video game, it's just much easier to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just not going to talk anymore. So I can feel that. It's scary as fuck, and the community needs to calm the fuck down on that stuff. Because these are good people. None of these people are dicks. None of these people are out there trying to ruin your game and getting off on it, right? Nobody's like, oh man, wait till you see how pissed off they get over this. No, these are good people that want, that play the game, that like the community, and I can't blame them for being slow to stick their heads out of the turtle shell when that kind of stuff happens. The hate I get for being on camera it pales in comparison to what these guys get. So, yeah. Try to be supportive and remind the community managers that you appreciate them being on our side. Most of them are just as unhappy about the things you're unhappy about as we are, and they're trying their damnedest to make changes happen. But anyway, enough of that. Mostly we talked about RTA, we talked about the future, how to generate hype. I think those people are stupid too, Monster, but stupid people are everywhere. They walk around just like you and me. They don't even realize they're dumb. Anyway, we talked about the need for roadmaps. We talked about the need for for more PvE content that is repeatable and unique. Like Ancient Inheritance, we talked about how if they run Ancient Inheritance again, and it's a cut and paste of the past 6 Ancient Inheritance, that I'm going to lose my freaking mind. I don't think I can do it again. That they've got a perfectly good older Ancient Inheritance that they need to mix in. We talked about how, for example, Advent event, when Elysia of the Frost comes out again, it's kind of new. People ask for help. People look up guides. People make new teams because it's not the same Advent as last time or even the time before that. We go Ice, Fire, Earth, Ice, Fire, Earth. And they're about 3 months apart. So it's roughly a new AI. You don't get a repeat until an entire year has gone by. And by then you've forgotten about it. It still feels kind of new, even though it's basically the same fight with a little bit of a twist. Whereas Ancient Inheritance comes out every 3 months and it's exactly the same. And it's solved. It is giga solved to the point where we've got it down to saying just get 4 or 5 people to get these artifacts and they can carry your whole guild, and you don't even really need to do organization anymore. Whereas they've got this older version of Ancient Inheritance, which everybody's forgotten about. What if they rotated them? What if we had old AI, new AI? What if they came out with a 3rd version of AI and then they rotated them so that you only get one type of AI each year, right? There's this version, the next 3 months later is another version, then 3 months later is another version, and then we start repeating again the following year, 3 months later. That kind of thing allows them to repeat content without it feeling repeated, without it feeling stale. It's what they did with Hall of Trials by rotating Nilgal to Kairon to, every 2 weeks. It was something completely different. We talked about how Hall of Trials needs to be something completely different and not just minor tweaks for 6 weeks. Oh, new Floors of Abyss is something we've been asking for a while. I think new Challenge Abyss more than new Floors is kind of needed. The Challenge Abyss is kind of enjoyable. Just as many people complain about new Abyss floors as not, but they did talk about how they are, again, very excited about and can't comment on or talk about the new and exciting stuff that's coming out, but stuff planned for PvE, farmable content. They acknowledge the issue of charms. We even went so far as to tell them just to remove charms from the game. Just make it gold. Why are there even charms in the game? But we talked about how it's not cool that the most efficient farm in the game is locked behind a 900 Skystone side story that we have to tell people to not complete, or else they lock themselves out of it forever. They're aware of that. My biggest push in the meeting was to be more respectful of players' time. Divine or Sue, one of them brought up that there's most games when you log in, you do your dailies. It takes you, 5-10 minutes to do your dailies? Valky timed it, and going as fast as he could, it took him 13 minutes to do all of his dailies. That's a long time investment, and he knew exactly where to go and did them fast. I know I did a video, the do this every day video, to show you how to get all your dailies done. I think it was like a 25-minute long video. That's crazy. Are the 2 new limited units worth pulling? No, they are not. I'll explain more later. So we pushed heavily on be more respectful of time. I said, you know what? Let us, instead of having to go into battle and go into the labyrinth and go into whatever random level you want to go in and jumping in and then walking all the way, teleporting and walking and hoping there's no fight in the way, gaming the system so that there's no fight in the way, to find Hoochie, right? Just to buy your daily stuff from him. That's a lot of boring, button clicky effort. That's not very respectful of the time just to get your daily charms. And to know better than to go to a teleport and exit, to know that you can yield to cheese and keep the stuff and not waste a compass.
Some achievements refresh after a year, or something like SSS ranking characters, for example.
Yeah. Now, why do people have to do that? Why do they have to go all the way into Labyrinth? Yeah, you can yield and not waste compasses. See, Nimzone didn't even know that. So, that's something a lot of new players don't know. Why do we have to do that to get to Hoochie? Remember how you used to have to go every day into the... it's here somewhere. Somewhere. They moved it. Remember I used to have to go every day. You'd have to go into the abyss. You'd have to enter it. You'd have to see all this animation go by. And then there was a button here for Purify the Abyss. And they said that's not very respectful of time. So they moved it out of there and they moved it into the shop. So it was this double-edged sword, right? We can purify the abyss for free right here. They just renamed it into Purin's Complimentary Daily Product. But this is basically abyss purification. We get to purify the abyss without having to go through all those stupid button clicks to do it. And they get to advertise their packs. Win-win. Why isn't Hoochie here? Why do I have to go all the way in the Labyrinth to visit Hoochie or Goblicus? You know how many people don't even know Goblicus exists? So you have to go into the adventure map. You have to zoom all the way freaking out. Go back into Britannia. Go into Savara. Slide over. Go into Kyruberan. Run the fight into here. Walk all the way to the intersection. Walk all the way to this intersection, turn auto off because you aren't going to be able to click on it with auto on. And here's Goblicus. And you can buy charms from Goblicus too. And if you were giga stingy and you don't want to leave and spend the 2 stamina, you can yield here too and you keep the charms and you don't spend your 2 stamina. Why isn't he in the shop area? We talked about, let me just do something real quick here to make this very visible. Hunts, here. You had no idea he existed. There you go. More free, not free charms. The gold is very expensive. A lot of people say the gold he charges isn't worth the charms. In my opinion, charms are always worth the gold, but you got to make that decision based on how much you got. Events. Is it events? Special events. Here. Yeah, maybe I need to redo my do this shit every day video. That came out before a lot of the new players came in. I think Valky did that recently, actually. Okay, so another thing, right, is you go to your events tab.
I'm pretty happy to know that new player will never experience the absolute pain of the 100 floors automaton tower. That thing made me want to buy a Happy Meal and choke on the toll.
See, I'm in the opposite boat. I wish they put that back in and called it hard mode. Just, don't give bullshit rewards. Like, here's a fucking leaf, or here's a lobby cosmetic that expires in 2 months, right? Something that's not that big of a deal, but put in some end game content, something that's, out there and repeatable and long and stuff for us to struggle and do, but that people don't feel gay to like, oh, I don't get my ML summon because I couldn't do tower. Yeah, like Nightmare Raid versus Hell Raid, exactly. I'm all about putting old content back in like that. But here's another thing people don't know about, right? Is wait 1 second. Where is it? Is it gone now? Events. What happened to the web event? Did the web event end and I didn't notice? Okay, but you know what I'm talking about, right? The web event where you had to click on the button, then click OK, and then click on the next button and click OK, and then click on the next button and click OK, and then you got to go to the next screen. You got to use your ticket, and the wheel would spin, and then it would light up, and then you'd have to click OK, and then spin. Holy shit. Remember, we actively have to teach people how to animation cancel, how to click on the wheel and then click the button to refresh it, and then click on the wheel and then click on the button to refresh it, to animation cancel to get through it, because the first couple of times, seeing the animation move, seeing the wheel spin, seeing your character move across the Monopoly board, that was kind of cool, but 4 times a day, it mathed out to like 60, 65 times a week. You had to watch that damn wheel spin. And to make it worse, during Overlord, there was a glitch where if you clicked one button, you collected everything. And we're like, make that glitch a feature. Make the web event not painfully, boringly slow. You know, maybe when you spin the wheel, you make us watch the animation, but it's one time and it does all 4 spins at once. You know, so whatever, make it less painful. You want to talk about painful? I don't know how many times we have harped on freaking penguin sliders. How ridiculous is it that I can only buy 1,000 penguins at a time? Do you know how long it would take at 1,000 a time to get through 800,000 stigma? It's about 3 seconds per click. That's 40 minutes of clicking. That'd be 40 minutes of me doing this to get through all of my stigma. That's not okay. Give us a slider. Give us the ability to buy 1,000, or, I mean, hell, you can buy 40,000 and 8,000 worth of stuff here. Why am I limited to do 1,000 on this one? I told them straight up, I said, look, right now, what's the biggest complaint against Smilegate? What's the number one thing people bitch about the most when it comes to Epic 7? That's not in-game mechanics, right? It's that Smilegate doesn't listen. Everybody says, please do all these things, and instead they come out with UIs, changes that nobody asked for. Everybody says, we want these changes, we want these nerfs, we want this adjusted, and they say, actually, I think we're going to do exactly opposite of what you wanted, and we're going to double down on this thing in this other aspect of the game that you hated and make it even more important. I think if they came out with a patch note next week, and the only thing that was in it, the only thing at all, only thing that was in it was Penguin Slider, One Touch Web Event, and Hoochie and Goblicus are moved out of their locations and into the lobby or into the pack area, I think it would be heralded as one of the best balance patches we've had in a while, because people would say quality of life that respects our time and is in response to things the community has been asking for years. Now, is that all they should do? Hell no. But I mean, I think that would be a great start. Anyway, they took all that down and took notes of it. Those of you who sent me your DMs, I passed on your words. They're looking at ways to enhance shops. They're looking at ways to deal with the charm drought. They're looking at ways to make, to give us more PvE content, more repeatable PvE content. And again, they kept coming back to, we're really excited about the things that are coming out. We think, you know, waifu enjoyers and animation enjoyers are going to be really, really happy. We think that people who are pushing into PvP are going to be a lot more satisfied with the changes and things we're coming out with. We're really excited about some of the content that's coming up. We really can't say much more than that. Just try to hang in there and stay tuned, because big things are coming soon. One of the biggest issues I have as a relatively newish mid-game player is Mola. There are just so many characters who need it. Yeah, the longer you play, the better that gets, guys. You'll eventually get to an end game point where Mola stops being an issue, but there's this this early range where the first 6 months you're kind of rolling in it and it's not a big deal. And then you get to super late game and you got everything pretty much set where it's at and you always seem to have enough. It's not a big deal. But then there's this middle game range, right? The 6 month to 3 year mark where you're building so many things and developing new things and it always feels like a drought. So it's one of the hardest things to balance because it is so different in the needs from end game versus new game, and also because one of the largest income packs that they have is the Molagora pack. They make a lot of money off of this, and the issues that you're feeling are what do it. You're like, you know what, $50 and I can start playing the unit that I just pulled. I spent $100 pulling this unit anyway. Now I need to play it. I better drop the extra 50 so I can actually play the thing I bought. It's kind of shitty, but yeah. They have steadily increased the accessibility of Molagora. They add just a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there. An extra one in the shop, an extra one in the web event, an extra one that you get from the whatever side stories going on. They leak them in slowly to see if it unbalances the game, if it directly impacts sales too much, and if it helps satisfy people. Because it's slowly metered out, people don't notice it. But if you went back 3 years ago and told people that you would get enough Molagora to 6-star or to plus 15 a unit a month for once a month for free, they would look at you like you're crazy. Did you guys get ML Adden? How do you get her imprints? You get her imprints by pulling multiples of her, sadly. Or if you have meteorite slates, which I'm not sure if I have any. Let me look here. I might still have some. I gotta find a guy that is a 4-star that's not maxed out yet. Do I have any 4-stars that are not maxed out? Maybe new ones, right? Here we go. I don't have any meteorite slates on... Oh, wait, do I? Yes, meteorite shards. Which you may have gotten these from recalls. You can use these if you have some saved from recalls. Just flip this little switch down here to see if you have any. You might. A lot of people don't notice this switch down here. It's the only place to see your meteorite shards. You can use those to imprint Odin. Otherwise, pulling multiple Odins, which I know sounds crazy, but how many of this girl have you pulled? Right? I don't know about you, but I pulled a lot of her. You will eventually... It's not like she's limited. You will see purple pop up all the damn time, and Odin's going to jump out. So you will eventually get enough of her to imprint her. For what it's worth, if you're not going into Harsetti, I hear she's absolutely terrible. That's kind of her only use, is to play her into Harsetti. But I have not pulled her, nor do I plan to spend bookmarks on her. What else do we talk about? I'm not even kidding. We talked about a lot of this stuff, and then we kind of wrapped up a little bit early because an evacuation alert came across the news for some of the people we were talking to. So they were busy, like, jumping onto websites to seeing if they had to get the hell out of Dodge, because a lot of the people we're working with are in Smilegate, North America, which is right in the middle of that fire. Any news for Guild Wars? We actually legitimately did not talk about Guild Wars this time. Pardon me a second, guys. Sorry, guys, doing business, making money. Oh, what I miss. As bad as the rates are in FGO, one thing I've always appreciated about the game is everything gets a rerun at some point. Might be 2 years, but it will happen. We talked about collaboration reruns and the issues with that, right? Everybody's got their own opinion. Why don't we just do what Summoner's War does? Why don't we just make resident units with the same kits and all that kind of stuff, right? Let's break that down for a minute. We'll take Karena for an example and Rocket Punch, right? So we're going to make Karena a brand new unit, and we'll call her like I don't know, whatever Karena spelled backwards is, right? Or Enac, whatever. And that's going to be the new in-game unit, and it's just Karena's kit without any Espa look, name, or anything attached to it, right? Anorak. Yes, so Anorak comes out, and it's just Karena's kit. Who's pulling for Anorak? Right? The people who missed Karena. And collectors. Who else is pulling for? I wouldn't pull for. I've already got Karena. Why do I need a second? Why do I need a duplicate kit? So they're making a unit that probably, at best, only 40% of the community is going to pull for. They're putting the same amount of cost, effort, and development time into making a unit that people already have. A lot of people already have, or is outdated enough that she isn't seeing much usage at all in the game. Karena still sees some usage, but she's not meta breaking like she was a couple seasons ago, right? Could you play Karena and Anorak in the same? Let's assume that you can't. Let's assume it's Summoner's War rules, and you're not allowed to have. You're not allowed that the two units act like trying to do regular Clury and Falconer Clury. You can't put them in the same draft. So, yeah, that's that means they're going to get a significantly reduced profit margin for the same amount of cost making the unit. Let's take a pass on that and say really it's not the units so much as the artifacts. Even though the units are gone, the artifacts stick around, right? Rocket Punch is still great on multiple units. 3F is going to continue to be a very important artifact moving forward on Knights, and we have no real access to that if Overlord never reruns, and I'll be straight with you, it's unlikely Overlord will rerun. So what is our solution to that? Well, we could just make artifacts. That's easier, right? You don't have to make a whole ass unit. You just make an artifact. But how do they disseminate that artifact? They got to tie it to a unit, and they've got to shoehorn that artifact's usage. They got to shoehorn 3F's usage into a unit that might already have an artifact paired with it. Valky brought up a really good point that they missed a huge opportunity to do just this with this guy right here, right? This artifact is budget Guardian Ice Crystal. Like budget. I ordered Ice Crystal from Wish.com and they sent me homage to Tarman, right? What if this was just Guardian Ice Crystal? Solves all the frickin' problems of not having Guardian Ice Crystal, which really, nobody really gives a shit about Rem and Amelia and Ram, right? I mean, Rem's nice for Wyvern, and Ram is pretty okay, I guess, for Expo, and Amelia, there's some PvE here and there, it's great, but really, Guardian Ice Crystal is an important artifact. If there was a rerun, that's what all the talk around the water cooler would be is, hey, why don't we do a, whole bunch of pulls and get more ice crystals? I know that's what I would be doing. But they could have just made this ice crystal and solved that need. So we encourage them to look at artifacts that are similar. You know, if they got an artifact coming out that's very similar to 3F, make it 3F. If they got an artifact coming out that's similar to Rocket Punch, make it Rocket Punch. Solve at least the artifact portion of the equation for us. Make it profitable for Smilegate, make it accessible for the rest of us. But they acknowledged and said that is something they're looking at. That is a top concern, is how to address the units that are just gone and are likely not coming back, and to come up with ways to make their impact not feel as, as FOMO, to find ways to give you access to similar kits, to replace their need, to remove them from the meta eventually and replace them with other units that kind of do the same thing. It's clear with the buffs to Euphine, that's something they're tinkering with. And I suspect maybe we'll see buffs to maybe we'll see buffs to Operator Cigarette that turn her into Karena. I don't know. They're looking at ways to address it. I don't think just releasing Smilegate proprietary units and artifacts is a saleable way to address the situation. I'm putting words in their mouth. This is my opinion. I don't think it is the best means to an end for Smilegate, but they are looking at ways to address that. They do realize it is a big issue, especially with collaborations truly being the actual true limiteds of Epic 7. They could just reach out to the IP holders and ask if they could re-release the artifacts. They could, and then the IP holders would say no. You can't profit from our stuff without a collaboration in place. You'll need to speak to our lawyers about setting that up, and frankly, we're not interested. Or they would say, yeah, you can do that, but we require X amount of your profits while those artifacts are for sale. I mean, if you were if you were the rights holder, if you spent money establishing patents, establishing copyrights, all that shit costs money. If you spent money establishing this stuff and then somebody said, hey, we want to use your product in our game, is that cool? You'd have to spend more money on lawyers to look over it, to make sure there's nothing liable about it, to make sure they're not using your IP in a way that could potentially harm your brand. Who knows? Maybe Epic 7's turned into a hentai porn game now, and everyone else is like, hey guys, check it out. Full Metal Alchemist is supporting this kind of stuff. You got to have your people look into it to make sure the way your IP is being used is consistent with the way you want it to use, doesn't violate any laws, isn't being used by a game that's banned in certain areas of the world that you're trying to get toeholds in. I mean, you got to look into this stuff. You can't just say, hey, can I use your stuff? And they'll be like, sure, it's cool. They don't play our game. They don't live in our discords. They don't know what we're about. They got to look into that. And that's going to cost money, and you're going to need to recoup that, which is why you'll always get slapped with the same flat answer of, write a proposal, send it to our lawyers, we'll look over it and see if a collaboration's possible. And they'll probably say no. There actually is one, Olex, and I think they're actually doing a collaboration right now with somebody. It's kind of terrifying, but yeah, that exists. So yeah, a lot of times, anytime it seems like the solution is super easy and super simple, and why aren't they doing it? Yeah, you got it, Cub. Anytime it seems like that it's like, but this looks so easy, just do this, and they aren't, there is a financial reason for it. There's usually a big money wall involved. But yeah, they are aware of the issue that collaboration units cause. And collaborations are coming. They are always looking for collaborations. It's not like we're never going to have one again. So it's going to be an ongoing, repeating, perpetuating issue because they want the collaboration to do well. They collaborate with Hello Kitty tomorrow. They want to make sure that the units are so powerful that everybody wants Hello Kitty on their team. Son of a bitch. I'll be right back, guys. So anyway, as I was saying, they would want to make sure that Hello Kitty was, that the units are good enough that people would want to pull for them. But if they make them too good, then they got to deal with, now that the collab's over, what do all the new players do who can't get them anymore? So I think that's why we found the Overlord units were really good, but not insanely busted broken. I think they tried to strike that balance of these are good, strong, enduring units who 6 months from now, people aren't going to be losing their freaking mind that they don't have on their team. And I think they did a real good job with that, and a lot of people missed the plot and said, Albedo needs a buff, Shaltir's terrible, needs a buff. I'm like, they didn't want to make these units into Lunas and Harsettis. They didn't want the entire game to center around units you can never get again, but they made them, they made them functional and usable. Now they kind of fucked up a little bit on the 3F artifact. I think they didn't quite realize that an HP scaling rocket punch that works on AoE might not have been the most balanced thing to put into the game, but hey, here we are. Albedo has always been strong as hell. Are you kidding me? Albedo, man. I gotta show it off. This is crazy. Hang on here. I made this video. Stop asking for this to be buffed. Right? 8 months ago. It was just an 8-minute long video. And, holy shit. Comment section was savage. I had a 69% like to dislike ratio. People were up my ass about this. You know, I love your videos. Usually agree with most of your opinions on stuff, blah, 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 but you are dead wrong and she's garbage. And, you know, whoever told you that this unit's good is crazy. Oh, man, people are awful about it. And then 3 or 4 months later, Albedo's winning World Cup for people. Is one of the most impactful units in RTA that season. So, yeah, I think the rage on the Overlord units. I think the biggest issue with the Overlord units was that they were just meat and potato good, but they were kind of boring, right? There's nothing exciting or hype about a mitigation tank. And Shaltir was just basically Zahak, and we already have a Zahak. So, I think it's going to be one of those Fridays, guys. Yeah, Smilegate doesn't want to go back to the Rem Violet meta. The Rimuru meta when there was nothing that stopped Rimuru. They wanted to make sure that these were good, strong units, enduring units that would stick around for a while and have usage long after the collab, but that they weren't meta-shattering, crazy units that just unbalanced things to the point where the most common comment was, when is this rerun happening? Knowing good and well, it might not ever happen. So, yeah, that's my take on collaboration units. I think when the next collaboration happens, look to see Overlord level units. Good, strong meat and potato units. Maybe a little stronger than Overlord, but I don't think we're ever going to see Rem meta or Rimuru meta game-shattering units again, or that they will really quickly churn out heavy counters to them to pull them out of the meta, so that 6 months after the collab, people are still glad they've got the units, but they're not like, I can't play RTA because I don't have Rem. I can't, I lost my frame this season because Rimuru, I had no counter to him. I think they want to try to avoid that. What do I do with this? That is just all over the place, isn't it? An attack scaling bruiser who needs a little bit of ER. No, it's not BBK though. The crit set makes it giga weird. And you can't really mod any of those without losing stats. I hate saying it because it's such a meme, but it looks like Ken gear. Yeah, ML Ken. People are saying ML Ken. Yeah, it looks like Ken gear. Wukong, I don't think really needs the ER, though. Man, we all have one of these, right? We all have a piece that looks like this. Here's mine. It's a ring. There's mine. Who do I use this on? And we all have this one piece that's just kind of freaking weird that doesn't really seem to go anywhere. That it's really impressive equipment score, but it just always winds up on some world boss unit. So yeah, hang on to it. Weird things happen, right? Things come out that well, here, I got a great example for you. There was a brief window where the entire arena meta was solved by... Where are you? By this Chad right here. All you needed was torrent gear with shit tons of effect resistance. And I was so mad when I rolled this. So mad. It was like, it was close to perfection. And there was another piece here too somewhere. Where was it? Yeah, it was this piece right here. I also had this on Techron back when I was running him. It was like, this was perfection. Everything was perfect, and then it freaking like quad rolled into effect resistance. I lost my damn mind. But it became the most important stat for making my Techron work. So just because you don't have a place for it now, you never get rid of 106 gear, right? You keep it. You'll find a place for it eventually. Cookie, what is this? Okay. Maybe Wukong does want some effect resistance. There you go. Yeah, I guess you could use it to try to build your Wukong. Use a crit set instead of a defense set. If you want to try to build a Wukong like Cookie has here, go for it. That's one of those pieces where I just like to say, the robot will find a place for it, man. Stick it in your gear pool and let Fribbles cook with it. But yeah, it does kind of look like a piece that doesn't do anything well. Do not follow Cookie's text. Cookie's one hell of a chef. Sometimes he burns the whole damn kitchen down with some of the things he comes up with, though. Oh man, we're getting our asses handed to us this Guild War. Oh, Biscuit. We'll ego this bottom team. How do we do this top team? We could... Is this the right plan? We could do this. Is it enough ass to kill her, though? ADS top, you think? I haven't flexed my ADS in a while. We could try it. I mean, part of me just thinks to use Child Senya on it. This can go... This will do that. This will injure that down to nothingness, and... I mean, I think at this point I either just run it over with my own flan or control the shit out of it. Usually DDR hand guy Solly the top team, but it requires very high bulk on all. I think this will be fine. The nice thing is, Senya's pop damage won't trigger Dragon Bite Senya. It's got to be direct attacks that trigger it. Take him to the graveyard. No 15%'s here. Everybody goes to sleep. Oh, we're just that good. Except for Senya. She stayed awake. It's okay. Ray can take it. Can't you, Ray? Good job, Ray. Bam. Thanks to the expedition guide, hit a number I didn't know was capable of. Awesome, Sheesh. I'm glad to hear it, man. You go back to sleep. Yikes. This flan unit, kind of good, huh? Excuse me. All these fake Sea Phantom polys running around. Why didn't I S3 Alencia? I didn't want to wake up Harsetti at any point in the fight and have her stun and control and do awful things to me. Blammo. Blammo. Get fucked. The new way to deal with vampires, drop giant Rubik's Cubes on their heads. So I think I'm doing the same teams, guys. I think I'm doing the same teams. Try Uber's Tooth on Amiki. If you've got Shaltir, she works really good into Flan. If you got Eligod, she shits all over Flan. Or he shits all over Flan. I can safely S3 here. Everybody goes to sleep, because once again, 15% does not exist in my games. Me and Smilegate have this agreement where I don't get 15%ed. Works every time. Bam! Bam! In the ground. May as well just get rid of this. Bam. Unity set DDR, boys, I'm telling you. Everybody makes fun of me for it, but I have never regretted having Unity set on my DDR. Okay. Let's do this first. Turn off some of Mort's BS. Get some souls, and we've got to kill Hua Young first, or she'll nuke the whole freaking team. So we gotta burn this. She should die horribly because Hua... Oh, wow. Beefy one, man. That was 7k damage. Look how much health she has left. Holy shit on a stick. This did not go as I expected. I can't S3 or the child's gonna cleanse Mort, and then Mort's gonna cause all kinds of bullshit to happen. She's sealed. Okay, I'm trusting you guys that it's a passive and not a skill. We'll do it. I wasn't sure if that was linked to her skill or her pass, or if it was a passive. Okay, y'all are smarter than me. What can I say? Let me see. We'll do this to push Luna up. That's fine. Oh, she's gonna push Mort up though. Damn it. I should have burned S2 to get the barriers. Jesus Christ. Okay, we just gonna hope that this guy is not on Holy Sack. Ugh! Stupid Holy Sack. That was a terrible idea. If I had killed her, Mort would have finished us off. Holy Sack Mort was a little too much. I didn't think ahead. I didn't expect a 25k freaking Hua Young. I expected that Hua Young to just die. I pre-regged for it, Zolan. I considered it. I'm still on the fence about it. I'm not sure I want another gotcha game in my life. I know Sue was playing it. I think he's tested it out. Correct, Gaius. Correct. We do not want Luna buffs. We demand Luna buffs. Okay. I guess it's that time, guys. Hall of freaking Trials. Let's see if we can figure out how Illusial did it. Right? Illusial did a really cool team with Blaze Dingo. So surely we can figure this out, right? So let's see. Blaze Dingo, Lilka. He used Acades. Beta has potential. Cookie's got like a giga tanky Hua build. His Hua is seriously impressive for a counter version. I think I might try to build it myself. Excuse me. Yeah. All of us kind of do. So let's see. She just needs speed and HP and nothing else, right? Good enough, right? We don't want to go too overboard. And probably just give her a damage boosting one, right? Like Warhorn. Of all the units, she's the one that's safest to cycle. We're going to rely on her S1. 50% attack break. Jesus Christ. Oh, we need this. We need this. Okay. Pardon me while I spend some currency. No. Nice. We take it. We take it. We lose 4% health, but I think it's worth it. Oh, god damn it. That button is in the wrong place, Smilegate. You're killing me. Few things tilt me as much as that stupid button being in the wrong spot. There. Okay. Now we've got a 75% chance. That's going to feel a whole hell of a lot better than a 50% chance. So... Brieg. I think we just run... I don't want to re-gear my Brieg. We'll change his artifact to a damage dealing one. Maybe card. Give me a little bit of defense along with the attack boost. And now our DPS units. I assume that Dingo's going to be our damage dealer, so we'll give him the nuking artifact. The one that gives us Gab is probably the best, so we'll leave that alone. Manage. Recommended. Recommended. We're going to go with Destro. I don't know, probably Torrent. This isn't bad. Hang on, give me a second. Let me see if Fribbles can find something a little bit better for me. Okay. Okay, maybe maybe this and this and that. That's pretty good, eh? Okay. There is a stronger Blaze Dingo than ever had the right to be. How the hell do you get Blingo over 4K attack? Roll your gear. Nah, for real. I've got pretty good PvE gear, guys. Let me see. How do we build Lilka though if we gave her like some of our best gear already out? We need her to be 100% crit, but we need her to be big damage too. Holy shit, are we really going back to using that fucking collab artifact? 20% crit chance. Overcapping damage. Over. I guess we are. Okay, manage. Recommended. Destro. Torrent. Okay, how do we do this without killing our Blaze Dingo? Mr. Fribbles again. I think POS is an artifact that they could bring back easily enough because it was a free artifact, and they could easily make it a free artifact again. They could make it a guild artifact. Just slap that thing in the guild shop. Especially if they're going to be building Hall of Trial centering around that limited artifact. If you don't have this artifact ducking, you'll want to use, if you've got Ram's artifact, Severed Horn Wand, that would work. If you don't have that, just use a Symbol of Unity. Anything that boosts your attack would be ideal, though. Oh, you know what would work great is, Pavel's artifact. The fuck's that thing called? That's your best option right there. Because Blaze Dingo's going to attack enough that it'll max this out, and this would be a great replacement for POS. So use this if you don't have POS. That'll have to do. How many Sigurds do we need? I've got 4 and I use them all. All 4 of them are equipped, which means I'm not future-proof, so I think I'd like a 5th one. Okay, so let's see if we can... Oops, I guess I did kind of make a mess out of my inventory there. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Excuse me. That's what Grace of Growth is all about, Daniel. Okay. So I think we'll heal up, we'll bury her up, and then we'll just... Do I even need to bury her up? This heal should be a pretty close to full heal. Yeah, and let's just start chipping our way into the break phase. 1, 2. I'm going to S2 here so that I can cleanse the bleeds or the burns when she breathes fire on us. 3, 4. Set on fire. Get rid of the burns. It's 5 hits. 6 hits. 7 hits. And this should push us into the countdown phase. Good, good. We'll just S1 here. No reason to do anything else. Lilka's too far back. We're going to have to go around the horn. I'm just going to S2 here so we don't take too much damage. Okay. 1 debuff here, right? 75% chance. There's no RNG in this account, so we get that. There's 1. 2, 3. And that puts us into the break phase. Almost, right? We'll need Dingo to actually seal the deal. And then this will put us into the break phase. And he'll just randomly hit something. And barriers go up. Okay. We're in. Cooldowns, cooldowns, cooldowns. Can S3 to get rid of the burns. I think we'll do that. I think we'll just get rid of the burns. This should push Dingo up. He can S1 all he wants. That's weakling hit 1. We'll S2 ourself. S2 here. That's weakling hit number 2. Well, S2 here should push Dingo. And that's weakling hit 3. And now everybody's S2s are reset. Right? No. What did I screw up? Why didn't we all get the buff? Oh, did I need to S2 there? I bet I did. Will this push him up enough to do the S2? No, it's not going to. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do the AoE on Dingo. That's why it's screwed up. First playthrough, guys. Okay. It was a pretty clean way to get there, though, so I think this is going to be good, as long as we don't get RNG'd. But we don't get RNG'd, because this account doesn't have RNG on it. One, 2 hits. S2 myself, so I can cleanse the burns. 3 hits. 4 hits. Get rid of the burns. Five hits. 6 hits. 7 hits. Break phase. Loka's too far back, so we are going to stall around. So we'll just S1 here. S1. I'm going to barrier up just so we don't take as much damage. I think, Olex, if you got Shuri instead of Auden, you're doing fine. Okay. 25% chance for this to not work, but it always works because we're just lucky. Down to 3. And this will take us down to 2-1. And this will get the last one done. And Dingo didn't cut. Well, that was just bad luck. Okay, I think I'm going to need to S2 Lilka early to make sure she is in that first half of the break phase. That's all there is to it. We can't go around the horn reliably. My understanding of ML Auden, and I have not played her nor have I seen her play, is that she's really good into Harsetti and just useless anywhere else. Yeah, we've brought that up in just about every single meeting, and I think it's just low on their list of things to do. Unfortunately. Okay, I'm gonna S2 just to cycle Lilka differently. Everybody's on fire. Hit. 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 Heal. Damn, everybody's still in the back of the line. That didn't work out well at all. Lilka is not going to cut. Okay. There's 2 hits. It's 1 hit because we're lucky. Shit. Okay. Hey Loki, I did make a video on it. We talked about it extensively. If you want to go back in the VOD and just watch like the first 10 minutes, we talked about it quite a bit. But the cliff notes are exciting things are coming. Can't say what, but hang in there. They got a lot of stuff they're very, very excited about, and you could tell they're like teetering on the edge of, you know, breaking their NDAs because they really, you know, were hyped about what's coming. They can't wait to see our reactions to it. And the people we talked to are very much on the same page with us when it comes to our thoughts about RTA, and that they're, you know, continuing to bring those complaints to Smilegate, and their advice was that the best place for us to post our grievances, advice, feedback, etc. is on Stove, because of all of the social media outlets that Epic 7 looks at, Stove is the one that Korea is the most comfortable with and the one they look at the most. So if you want your voice to be heard, start a thread, start a discussion, jump in on a discussion, make some posts. That's the best way to reach out to them. We talked about a lot of other stuff too, but I don't like repeating myself. Okay. This is the arrangement where we have to go around the horn because Lilka's never going to cut. Yeah, hit me up in DMs after chat, Loki. I'll fill you in on all the gritty. Okay, so there's 1 because we're lucky. There's 2 and 3 because it's guaranteed. And there's 4 because it's also guaranteed. Okay, I got to address the tuning on this. Yes and no, Loki. They did in the sense, I mean, yeah, I mean there's no way to like infinitely do it, but it's mostly because they changed the way the mechanics work. We won't know if it's patched until this reruns and we see if they rerun the same mechanic again. But yeah, this isn't an infinite points glitch. Right now I just got to figure out how I got into the break phase the first time and why it didn't work last 2 times. We'll do everything the same and see if we get in and see how close it is. That'll let me know which unit I need to tweak the speed a little bit on. I'm thinking it's Dingo. P-Flan, Caesarea, and Dark Shuri. Good luck with it, man. Okay, that's 6 hits, so that's going to put us into countdown phase. Loka is too far back. I need to speed Dingo up faster than Lilka. If Dingo goes first, she'll see our push and then Lilka's ready to go. That's really what it comes down to, is I need to switch their speed tuning so that Dingo goes before Lilka. That's going to be a tall order. Try to go around the horn one time, though. It worked once, right? Image. Okay, so there is 1 debuff. There is 2 debuffs, 3 debuffs, 4 debuffs, and as long as Dingo cuts, we're good. He didn't cut. Okay, so yeah, pop, pop, pop. Yes, I get it. I get it. Okay, let's fix the speed tuning. So we are at 116 on Blingo. And we're at 129 on Lilka. We don't need a lot of speed difference. Kind of a waste. It doesn't really up our speed that much. Jesus Christ. You know, this isn't terrible. It solves the problem. We lose a lot of damage. Let's just try it, see if it solves the problem. I can always tweak the damage later for a full video run. Why not trying Doris and Red Surin? Because I'm trying to decode what Illusual did. I think I see what he did. It's just a matter of getting it to work. Hey, happy Friday, Ryan. Any advice on where to farm brooms for SC Doris? Hang on. Episode 1, Chapter 2, Stage 2-1. It's called Grey Cliff Forest. Takes about 72 runs, so have about 600 stamina saved up to do it. So that's, right there. Well, that's weird. Why didn't that work? There you go. Good luck. Okay, shoot you in the face. We'll reset so that we'll be able to cleanse the burns. If it makes you feel any better, it used to be a lot more runs. A lot more. But, yeah, you're talking about setting in the background, letting 30 of them go 2.5 times, just background battle. You'll be done like in under an hour. Scream! We're on fire! Okay, we did half of the equation. We sped Dingo up, but we didn't slow Lilka down. It's okay. It might be enough, right? We needed Dingo to cut before. Speeding Dingo up might have been enough. We can go around the horn, and this time she doesn't cut Dingo, right? Obviously. Okay. So everybody just goes around the horn one time. We get screamed at. We get lucky. We get debuffs. Dingo cut Brieg. I think we made Dingo too fast. Okay, I love speed tuning holo trials. It's so much fun. Okay, back to the drawing board. We need Dingo to be a little slower. So 125 too fast. And 116 too slow. So we want to shoot for like 120-ish, right? 120-ish? That's kind of exactly what we're looking for, right? Yeah, remember what it took to do Crozet or freaking Commando Arena? Remember how the pull my finger mission you do at the very end where there's a fight just before she becomes a specialty change? I think it was Commando Arena where she like usually lost the fight. It was like you had to hold your mouth just right to get her to win that 1v that 1v PvE fight. It was crazy. Is ML Bologna and Dark Auden good for brand new players? ML Bologna is wonderful for brand new players. She's got PvE and PvP usages, and she'll help carry you through a lot of content. Dark Auden seems to be an answer for Harsetti. So if you're dealing with Harsetti in Arena, you might have some uses for her, but outside of Arena and Guild Wars as a use into Harsetti, she really doesn't seem to fill any niche or serve any function. I wouldn't spend a lot of resources chasing that unit down unless Harsetti is just up your ass and you can't stand it and you got to have an answer to her. Dark Auden appears to be a decent answer to her. But that seems to be her only job. And I'm not sure new players really need that solution at this point that much. Oops, I was supposed to S2 there. That's okay, we're fine. Oh, is that what it was, Daedalus? I just remember, like, screaming, why do I keep losing? Excuse me. You know what? Maybe not cleansing the burns is the solution here, because that gets me up to 7 hits. Let's see. Let's see if that does it. Oh, shit. I'm going to burn to death here. Okay, I have to heal this up here. This goes out of order. We bury her up so that we don't die. There's 1 because we're lucky. There's 2 because they're guaranteed. And then Brieg just has to cut. Fucking A. Good job, Brieg. That could have gone a lot more smoothly, but this looks good. Who do I recommend on the Moonlight Blessing? I got Bologna and Dark Auden on a free multi. The initial Moonlight Blessing where Arbiter Vildred is one of the options, or the Moonlight Blessing from Fallen Lands where Death Dealer Ray is one of the options. Can you be more specific? Because I don't want to give you bad advice. Okay, we definitely need to get rid of all these ones here. Okay. You're good. This'll push, this'll push. Okay, I think we S2 ourselves. Spectre Tenebria makes clearing a lot of Abyss easy, but Arbiter Vilder is going to be useful to you throughout the game, early, mid, and late game. If you really, really, really want to min-max things, you lock in Spectre Tenebria, but you don't finish the Moonlight Blessing, right? You leave one of the chains in place because you get one chance to change your mind, right? So you get your Spectre Tenebria, you slap her on Grace of Growth, so you've got like a fully decked out Spectre Tenebria, and you just start shredding through the Abyss floors with her. Take it as far as you want. Never lock in that Moonlight Blessing, and eventually you'll get to a point where you're going to go, man, I wish I had Arby. Arby would make things a lot easier for me. Arby would be really good in this fight. I'd love to have Arby on my defense. I don't really see myself reaching for Spectre Tenebria anymore. And then once you get to that point, you use your one-time mulligan, you take Stenny off of Grace of Growth, and you swap over to Arby, you lock it in, you finish it, you get your Arbiter Vildred, and you keep that the rest of the game. If that seems like a giant pain in the ass, just get Arby, and yeah, and follow Sue's guide, who did the entire Abyss without Spectre Tenebria. Okay, so I do this. And then I've got to do an AoE because I got to trigger weakness so that Brieg will have his S2 reset. So do this. Oh shit, never mind. That's only weakling 2. I'm fucked. Oh no, wait, he had his S2. Never mind. We're fine. We're fine. I don't know why you guys are worried. Okay, I've got my S3, so here I'm going to S2 Dingo to reduce his cooldowns. Now S2 here. And I can S1, weakling 3, kick back, kick back. Fuck. Man, this is tricky to tune. Okay, wasted hit. S3. Oh my god, Brieg. You're killing me. Wasted hit. God damn it. This is all messed up. Nop, 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 nop. Illusial, you're here. You want to come on, man? I can pull up a Discord room. I think that would be great. I think people would love to hear your brainchild from your own words. If you're down with it, I'm down with it. I'll bring you into a Discord private room, and we can talk about it together. We'll promote your fame across YouTube. What do you think? Ah, okay. No worries, no worries. Okay, tell me what you think about my builds. First, I just did my regular Brieg. I didn't really change him up. I could have made him a little bulkier, I guess, but he's worked last time built like this, so I left him the same. I just built a standard Acades. I did get this EE honor, so I'm at the full 75% chance to defense break on my S1, or to attack break on my S1. Put her on Warhorn for extra damage. I've been trying to speed tune my Blingo, right? I initially ran him like this is my initial one, right? But I was having trouble tuning him in. Now, do you think running him this slow is okay? Because maybe you can help me through the speed tuning, but I was having a lot of trouble getting into the break phase and getting the speed tuning right so that they didn't get lapped and that turn order worked fine. And for reference, Lilka is like 119, 117 speed. Speed doesn't matter much as long as Blingo is faster than Lilka, and that was the issue, right? Blingo is not faster than Lilka. So here, Blingo is 121, and I think that's the issue I'm running into, is my Lilka's 129. So you're saying I need to slow this girl down some, huh? We could give her the other torrent piece. So how about this, eh? That gets her slower than Blingo. Ah, okay. So I gotta really pay attention to the weakling. Everyone's on fire. 6 here. Two, 3, because we're lucky. And that gets us in. Okay, we got weakling 0 on these guys. Everybody's got their S2s. So I'm just going to S3 and polish off the damage. This should be weakling 1. And now if I S2 into S3, that would give us weakling 3, right? So my next S2 would activate weakling 3. Am I right, Illusial? Because he'll S3 or S2 into the S1. So I had S2 here. Or do I S2 into weakling 3 and then counter happens. Ah. So I S1 here. That's weakling 2. Fuck. So I'm kind of off kilter then, right? No, I've not tried anything but this yet, Gwen. We just started this. Do we have a way forward here, Illusial, or is the run bricked? Kind of what I figured. If I use his S2 to push the break phase, would that give us an extra weakling inside of the break phase? Is that a tech, or am I reading too much into this? No, but that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, I'll see if I can line that up then. So S3 here. That will give you the buffs to cycle Blingo. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try a barrier here so that the burns don't hurt me as much. 5, 6, 7, and that should prime me to be able to have Dingo push phase. This will be close, but I think it'll work. Should work, right? Should I go around the horn one time? I'll try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scream. Cleanse. And then use the S2 to push phase. Pow. Hit. Hit. 1 hit in. Okay. Okay. S2. There's weakling 1. S2. Next round is when we want to S2, and we're primed for that, so I can S2 myself here, right? So Katie's S2s herself on this rotation so that she can be able to S3 later. Blingo doesn't need the cooldown because he's going to have it next round, and this will get reset when he takes that turn. That should be weakling 2. S3. Where'd it go wrong, Illusial? If I'd S2'd Lilka, she wouldn't have had her S2 ready. She's still on a 2-turn cooldown. I think you needed Blingo to cut Acades so that Acades S2 pushes Blingo back up. So, are you saying that my Blingo needs to be faster, or was it just bad speed RNG? Or Acades needs to be slower? I can shave a little speed off of Acades pretty easily. This seems to be the highest scoring team. Oh, you think it's a Warhorn issue? We can change it. I'm not sure Warhorn... I mean, Warhorn only activates when the enemy takes a turn. So that's really only going to matter in the stages leading up to it. I don't think Warhorn matters for the CR push. It's only when yeah, let's just try slowing Acades down a little. Easy enough. There, we just peel 5 speed off of her and see what happens. The Exile is attack? I hate losing that 5%. We'll try this. If it doesn't work, Daedalus, I'll take your advice and we'll swap that out for Warhorn. I thought to myself, what if I make a team so complicated I get to number 1 without competition? This is unnecessarily complicated. And you know that Smilegate never even considered this, right? Because they wanted this to be, you know, a reward for people pulling the limited unit. And then you went and crapped all over their plans. Okay, we'll save that last hit for Dingo. Pop, pop, pop. 1, 2. 3, because we're lucky. Oh, god damn it. I especially love, Illusion, that you came up with something that is 5% harder than the Doris version, a 25% RNG instead of a 20%. Man, what are the odds of not getting 25% 3 times in a row? That's gotta be, that's worse than a coin flip. It's like, what, a 1 in 3 shot? Yikes, 1 in 3. If you do everything right, you still got a 33% chance to just, or a 66% chance to just fail because reasons. Saving the last hit for Dingo. Pow pow. There's 2 hits. There's 3 hits because we're lucky. And there's 4 hits from Brieg. And now we're set up for Dingo to take it home. I guess we just S2 ourselves. And this will push phase. Okay. Clearly we S2. Yeah, ducking. I think they never need to do that. S2 Dingo. We're at weakling 1. That should be weakling 2. I S2 Dingo, resetting him. Then he can S2 for weakling 3, resetting everybody's S2. Have I got the gist of that correct? Okay. So we S2 Dingo, resetting his S2, pushing him up so that he can S2, activating weakling 3, which will reset everybody's S2 skills. And now everybody's S2s are back, and we are back in business. I didn't pay attention, guys. Did that say weakling or weakling 2 on top of the eggs? Because it affects who I S2 here. Or if I just S3. It just said weakling? Okay. So, yeah, because Blingo S1 and egg, not Eufine. Okay, so we can just S3 here then. And then we can... This should be fine with an S2 to ourself. Blingo lost his buff. So Blingo didn't cut Lilka. We needed Blingo to cut Lilka, S1, then Lilka to push him up, right? Jesus Christ, the tuning on this Illusial. How did you stumble into this? Yeah, it said 1. No, scrolling up. Yeah, it just said weakling. It didn't say weakling 1. It just said weakling. I think, Ben, it's not random. It's getting the tuning down right and paying very close attention to what word appears over the eggs. Something I'm going to wind up having to do for hours off screen to get a fucking guide up on this. Lilka get weakling. Lilka to get weakling 2 on Blingo. Reset a K's. S2 for weakling 3. Yeah, we would have lost the build-up timer though. Right? I freaking have no idea, Ducking. I have no idea how he came up with this. There's weakling. Yeah, it's bricked. Oh my god. Okay. On the off chance I tried Rin because she can attack twice in her 2 turns, I noticed the interaction with extra attack. That's crazy. I still love that you can't get triple S plus from... I know, right? That is so fucking awful that you're locked to a maximum potential score of 4 million. So rude. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're killing me, guys. You're killing me. Emergency rush piece of equipment, $12,000, and UPS drop kicked it halfway across the country to my customer. It showed up in a box that looked like paper mache wrapped around the piece of equipment we shipped. Well, I get to go deal with that now. That's lovely. Guys, I'm sorry. This one's kind of important. It's one of my top customers. I gotta go deal with it. Illusial, would you mind shooting me a DM in Discord so we could brainstorm a little bit on this? I'm pretty sure I can figure it out from here if you can't, but, man. Yes, yes, I hear you guys. I hear you guys. But I gotta go deal with this. Alright. What a crazy comp. I'm gonna give you, like, major mad props. At very least, like, DM me, like, any kind of socials or something you got promoted. Or you've got to promote, because I'd love to give you some big props in this guy, because this is a clever fucking team. If I can hold my mouth just right and get it to work. But in the meantime, let's find some place to send you guys off to. Who is playing Epic 7 right now? I guess we're gonna go see Oni Niku, who's playing Little E7 before he goes over to do Rivals. So everybody go say hi to Miko, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it, and thanks for being understanding. Work is calling, and I must answer. I'll catch you guys next time. And Illusial, shoot me a DM.